Hey guys, Stout here. I've been having a lot of fun playing solo normals after the last hotfix on my bard, so I just figured I'd go over my build for anyone who's wanting to try out the class in this format too. Reasons to play bard is that he is the absolute best PvE clearer in the game, both in norms and in high roller. Also, with your buffs and weapon choices, you're not bad at fighting at all. The cons are that PDR fighters, and honestly just fighters in general, are primarily your counters, and a lot of people play fighter. The only other thing is that managing all of your songs will take a little bit to get used to, and it might feel overwhelming at first, but I promise that it's really not that bad once you get a little bit used to it. All right, on to the build. For our perks, I'm running Charismatic Performance. This is a must pick regardless of whatever type of bard that you're playing. And then I have Rapier Mastery, Warsong, and Superior Dexterity. By pairing up Rapier Mastery and Warsong, we're giving our base Rapier 6 more weapon damage and 5% more action speed on top of our Shriek of Weakness debuff. It's actually a lot of damage. You're going to be running around 2-shotting and 3-shotting the skeletons. And then for our songs, we have our 4 most important buffs on my right wheel. That's Rousing Rhythms, Beats of Alacrity, Aria of Alacrity, Ballad of Courage. Always have these up. If you notice that one of them is dropping off, just rebuff all of your songs real quick. And then on the left wheel, we have our combat buffs. The first one's Lament of Languor. It reduces move speed by 20. This is really good for kiting or catching up to people. Next, we have Shriek of Weakness, and this is really the bard's bread and butter combat ability. This reduces physical power and armor of all enemies. This is both PvP and PvE. It helps you clear around the map really quickly, and it helps you fight other players a lot more effectively. And lastly, I'm using Accelerando. After you play the song, it's a stacking speed buff, which will actually give an extra 21 move speed to yourself. If you're playing with a team, this will give 21 move speed to your whole team, but we're talking about solos right now. And honestly, this is really good for kiting, for catching up to people, especially in tandem with Lament of Languor, because they're losing 20 move speed and you're gaining 20 move speed. But if you don't really like this kiting playstyle, or you just don't like having to cast that spell, or you don't find yourself using it all the time, you could always swap that out for Harmonic Shield. With the +2 all from Rousing Rhythms, you'll still have enough to play both of these, and that just gives you more armor and magic resist. And the first 2 things that you're going to want to buy if you haven't found them in your first raid is a buckler and a survival bow. The buckler gives you ability to block, it gives you more armor, and the survival bow is your main ranged weapon. It doesn't do the most damage, but it shoots really fast, and you're able to kite people with Lament of Languor, Shriek of Weakness, and you're still going to be getting the effects of Warsong with that too. So whatever your survival bow is, if you get a 17 damage or a 20 damage one, just add 3 for a few seconds after you cast Lament of Languor. I usually pick up 40 arrows with that too. Sometimes I'll drop 1 stack if I'm just wanting to maximize my loot. But you could just always just keep the 40 arrows and it's not a big deal. It doesn't take up too much space. Along with that, I usually always bring 4 stacks of bandages and roughly 4 stacks of health pots too, and a campfire. This just helps me know that I'm going to be topped off at all times. And if I run into multiple fights back to back, I'll be able to heal on up if I just shut a few doors or whatever along the way. And I haven't really talked about Superior Dexterity yet. What it does is it lets you transition between all of your weapons even faster. So you could be shooting with survival bow, all of a sudden swap to your rapier, and the other person still has their bow out, and you could start hitting them. And then when they swap to their melee weapon, you could swap back to your survival bow and start kiting. And it's just really quick and hard to deal with if you do it well. And as far as gear goes in norms, I feel like one of the most important things is just being able to move quickly and staying at or above 300 move speed. Along with that, we're also going to want some more strength or vigor. We either want to be doing more damage or tanking more. So my recommendations would either be a leather cap, which you can buy, or a straw hat that you can find, riveted gloves, or reinforced gloves. And then for the chest, I would usually just go with an adventurer tunic. It doesn't have the most armor, but it gives you more health just as a base stat. The other thing that you could wear is a troubadour outfit. Those give a lot more armor, but the stat is resourcefulness, and it has -8 move speed. So it's not necessarily my favorite thing, but if I'm able to find that, I'll sometimes wear it. I prefer the adventurer tunic the most though. And then we're gonna go for lightfoot boots and loose trousers. This just maximizes our move speed. And you could be thinking that Dexterity is great for bards because it helps them play their songs faster, And resourcefulness is also great because it keeps your songs up longer. And you're right, but we already have probably one of the higher dexterities in the game, and that's getting buffed even further by Rousing Rhythms. We're going to be at 22 dexterity just base. So if we're able to increase our strength or our survival, that's probably a better gain for us than just fully stacking dexterity when we're not able to get true fizz or add fizz or other things like that reliably every game. All right, and now that we talked about the perks, songs, and gear, I'm just going to go over one of my games that I've previously recorded, and it really just shows how great Bard is in both PvE and PvP by utilizing all of these perks and the gear. And spoiler alert, there is only one fight in this. If you just want to skip directly to that, I'll have it timestamped in the video. And if you're wanting more Bard PvP, just check out my last video. It's a full compilation of some other things from Norms over the past weekend. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Alright, so this area isn't necessarily my favorite spawn, but there's a decent amount of good loot in here, so I just figured I would quickly clear the room, and I'm just going to be pulling multiple mobs and sort of just mowing them down until I'm able to get over to the Lion's Head chest. Something I forgot to mention about gearing is if you're unable to get Lightfoot boots, laced turn shoes are also a really great pickup. And right here, there's a pressure plate. If you're any other class, just throw a torch at it. But with Bard, you're probably just going to drop your torches because you have all of your instruments and you want to have other things on your hotbar. So we're going to throw our drum. Drums also one-shot pots that aren't high roller variants. If it is a high roller variant, you're going to need to throw your drum and then hit it once, but that's still a lot faster than hitting it 3 times with your rapier. As a side note, you can quick cancel your songs if you press F right as they're finished. I do that all the time and I end up messing up my songs and not fully playing them because of that, because I try to quick cancel it too early. You don't have to do that. I just like to. And here I just figured I would waste my health pots and bandages to create more space in my inventory rather than using the health shrine. This just helps me pick up more gear, and I'm not just dropping bandages for other people to come by and pick up. I like to bring this many heals so I can just quickly clear through PvE as quick as I can, and if I take some damage, whatever, I'll just drink a health pot, I'll use a bandage, and I'll keep moving. And I heard a skeleton died in my northeast, so I'm going to start to push toward that and see if I can fight whoever's there. But this turned out to be a little bit of an awkward situation because there's still mobs everywhere and I need to push through them, and he's trying to also push through them to get to me, and it just makes it a little weird. He opened the door and I was expecting him to run in, so I used my prop pot to give me a little bit of an advantage, and I did hit Lament of Languor, so his move speed's reduced, but he just backed up instead of pushing in, and so I wasted my prop pot. I really dislike the zombie fart clouds. It's probably my least favorite mechanic in the game, but it just makes everything really awkward. I know that's what it's meant to do. They're just really annoying. Alright, so now it's time to push on him. I just heard him get hit by the skeleton, and instead of hitting him, I accidentally hit the skeleton in the back of the head with my survival bow, so I took the aggro. And then I was just trying to quickly get Lament of Languor and Shriek of Weakness off, and he hit me once with his bow, so I'm just going to back up and use a health pot, and then also start fighting with my survival bow. He keeps getting dangerously close to the corner, and this is where superior dexterity is really good. After I take one more shot, I'm going to swap in and just go into melee on him and finish him with that. This is also why fighters are one of your biggest counters. He hit us one time and it basically brought us to half health, and we hit him 4 times after hitting with our survival bow twice to kill him. Basically, fighting fighters, you just can't make a mistake. You can beat them. They are just a little bit difficult. And I ran all the way back here to get this health shrine because I didn't realize that there was another one literally in the room next to him. I would have just used that, but I didn't know, so we'll use it later maybe. This guy apparently didn't loot the whole game, so that sucks. We got AP for it though. And I heard something over here die, so I started to run toward that, but I think the mummy just died on the spike trap. I thought I heard something here, but I was just being paranoid, and I figured it was better to swing than to just get hit as I was trying to take the prop shrine. And basically from this point on, I just opened a bunch of chests and opened a bunch of portals and then left. So yeah, that's basically just going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it helps you either in norms in general or in your endeavors to try to learn the Bard class. I think the last best advice that I can give you is to think of the Bard as the jack of all trades, master of none. You're pretty good at everything. You're just not the best at anything. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please just consider giving it a like. And if you want to learn more about Bard or Dark and Darker in general, just consider subscribing to the channel. It would really help me out a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you who do. And lastly, if you're wanting to join a community of friendly people to play the game with or talk about video games in general, I'm going to have a link to my Discord down in the description below. Feel free to just click on that and come by and say hey. All right, I will see you guys next time. I hope you all have a great day, and peace.